Good morning. It's a beautiful day in February in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area, and I am going to the post office to drop off a bunch of shipments, and then I'm going to stop and do a little bit of sourcing. I won't have much time today. I also have to stop at the house that we're flipping, and then maybe I'll have time to kind of show you what I buy and why I buy it, to resell it on eBay and Etsy for now. So again, good morning. My name is Lili, and I am a reseller on eBay and on Etsy as of recently on Etsy. I have been reselling for about 4 years, I would say. Hitting a snag here. I guess there is some construction on the road and I have to stop and let the opposite traffic pass. And while that's happening, I'm going to switch my glasses because it's a really bright day here today. So there we go. And maybe we can chat a little bit longer. And I'll see when I edit this video what all I'm going to keep, if anything. So I've lived here in this area in the Tampa Bay again for about 11 years. I moved here from Ohio, where I had lived for close to 20 years before then. And before then, I lived in Romania. Yes, me and my husband and our daughter moved here from Romania with a green card visa. There is a government program that is extended to a number of countries in the world, and it has pretty strict requirements in order to qualify for that. And it's actually a visa lottery, in case you didn't know about that. And whoever wins the lottery does not win the visa. You win the right to apply for one. So yeah, there are a lot of hoops to jump through, and the process is quite lengthy. Unlike some of the things that we're seeing happening today, but that's another story for another time. And you have to provide all kinds of guarantees that you are not going to become a burden on the government, and all kinds of proof. Not just, they won't just take your word for it, and you have to have money that you can show that you have available on hand. You have to have affidavits of support from someone here in the country to show that they're going to be your safety net in case something should happen, God forbid. And again, all this is to avoid becoming a burden on the US government. So yeah, that happened back in a long time ago, mid-90s, that we came here, and we were amazed at what we found here. We've been trying our best to do what we can to contribute to the positive in this country ever since. I have to say too, with the help of family and friends and God or the universe, however you want to look at it, we have been quite successful in doing so, and very grateful for it as well. Extremely grateful for it as well. So with this kind of intro, jumping ahead, a quarter of a century, actually more than that. I can't believe how time flies when you're keeping busy, right? Here I am, attempting my first YouTube video as there's quite a bit happening that I'm hoping could find an audience from a storytelling perspective. There's a lot of intermingling of activities, as you can imagine, and so you will probably see a little bit of everything during a video, but again, I will do my best to have more dedicated videos, reselling, eBay specific, and flipping the house specific. So you can see our quaint little post office here out in the boonies. I love it here, and everybody knows me, and I know everyone, and it's such a small town feel. So this is it. There's a bunch. This one is for my daughter, but yeah, taking this inside. Alright, so turning the camera around so you can see a little bit of the weather we're having here today, and this is how it's been pretty much all winter long with a few exceptions. We've had a few more clouds than usual this year, but as you can see, it's really beautiful, bright skies, bright colors. So yeah, beautiful February day here in Florida. Alright, so making my first stop at the Lighthouse family store. It's my first time here since they remodeled, so I'm curious to see, but usually that means higher prices. So, well, let's stay positive and fingers crossed. So they haven't finished renovations. But we'll give it a try. Hello, good morning. So let's see. At least there's no blasting music, so that's a plus. These look interesting. Huh. So I got that glass in the buggy. I think I recognize something. And this is hand painted by E. Fontaine, I think. I don't know what this is. It's pretty though. And I misspoke, or I spoke too soon about the music. I love their music here, but unfortunately it's not conducive to filming. Italy. Not everything that's Italy is worth picking up for me. I'm not saying there's something wrong with them, but just for me it's just not. These are some of those cubist patterns, I guess. These are nice, very art deco. Wow, very nice, made in England. Beautiful design. But we need the plates or the saucers for those, and I don't see any saucers here. These are contemporary. This is an interesting mug that's signed 87. It's a nice pottery mug for $2. Maybe I'll put it in the cart and look it up a little bit. Aruba. It would be nice if there were another one like it, but I do not see another one. So I will put it in the cart just in case. It may be something. And of course, wherever we go, the guy who's stocking the shelves is following, because mainly this is the only shelf they have right now. So let's look in the clear glass. I love going through clear glass. You find all kinds of treasures. And I actually found a GLASSYBABY the other day. This is a cute little jar made in China. Found another one. And made in Japan. I don't know what this is. Do you all know what this is? I have no idea what this is. Leave it in the comments if you do. I would like to learn. That was one weird piece. And that's it, guys. That's it. Oh well, it is what it is. Alright, so we're down at the Lighthouse Ministries. The store was only half open, I should say. They're still working on the other half, so there is not much there. But I did find a few things. I'm happy with a couple of them. The other one I'm okay with. I'm just a sucker for pottery. I couldn't leave it behind, and hopefully I won't regret it. But unfortunately, I don't have time to go to another place right now. I wanted to, but there's no time. I have to head back to my appointment, and hopefully, just maybe, I may be able to go to another store afterwards. It all depends on how that's going to end and when. But I will keep you posted, and either way, I will have a haul for you at home with at least the items from today and some of the recent picks, and I will show them to you, and more importantly, I think I will show you or explain to you why is it that I got them. So I'll see you soon. All right, well, I am back at home in my office. One day I'll give you a tour. So I ended up coming home because my appointment ended at 4:20, and it would have taken me close to 5 o'clock to make it to the store, and I had no intention of going through the rush hour traffic coming back, because the stores here are still closed at 6 o'clock, at least the ones in our proximity. So I ended up coming home and I am going to show you what I got. And because there are not too many things, I was going to show you some of the most recent things that I also got, and kind of go through why is it that I decided to get them for resale, and a few other pointers in general. So I hope you'll enjoy. Alright, so let's go through what I got today first, and then we'll move on to the rest. And I may change this setup in the future, I don't know. Right now, I just want to go through it and publish this video because it's taken me ages to get to this point. I mean, literally, I started filming. Oh, you don't even want to know. I'm gonna move on. So today I spent a whopping $15.49 at the Lighthouse Ministries store, and I got basically 3 things. Well, one of them is a multiple. These are 3 bowls. There they are, 3 of them, and this is what they look like from close up. I paid $1 for each. So the way I do my shopping for myself is based on a few considerations. Number 1, identification. Number 2, cost. Number 3, condition. And number 4, desirability. And here some of you may include things like sell-through rate or scarcity, desirability in general. And based on all of this, you have a value that you kind of estimate for this purchase. And this value has also have to take into account everything that you have to put in as additional investment all the way through getting the money from the resale of this item. So things like driving to get this particular item, cleaning it, processing it, which includes documenting everything in your whatever system you may have, researching it for pricing, and sometimes even for further identification, then photographing the item, listing it. Finally, at the time of sale, the customer service, and between then and the listing, there's also the marketing and all the efforts that one may make to bring this to the forefront of the buyer's attention. And then you have the shipping materials, the shipping effort, and hopefully it ends there and you don't have to process a refund. Based on these considerations, going back to them in really no particular order, but identification, cost, condition, desirability, overall value, I ended up purchasing these 3 bowls that I showed to you before because I identify these as being an Itala, Finland glass. I love Scandinavian glass, and I know there is pretty big appetite for good Scandinavian glass out there. And the cost was right, $1 a piece. And the condition is excellent. There's absolutely no chips or cracks that I could see. So overall, I think that this is a good value, so I bought them. I will also include here in the video how much I would list them, or I have already listed these for, and links in at the bottom of the video for how you can get to these items if you're interested in looking at them or purchasing them. So the other thing that I got today, and I got it out of the paper to avoid the obnoxious noises, was the pottery mug that I showed you in the store. And this is really very pretty. Let's see. I have to identify the signature, but the date says 1987. So in some cases, a decision is made based on a degree of emotion added into the mix, or sometimes when there's no identification possible, you know, to identify exactly the year and the maker and so on and so forth, then there's the appeal of the piece, right? So this is more of I guess emotional and subjective value, because there is nothing else to support the purchase of this mug in this particular case if it weren't for its appeal. Once I identify whose signature this is, the value may go up, I'm hoping. Right now, I'm not expecting to get rich from this purchase, but it is really beautiful, beautiful glaze. It's a studio pottery piece. I can hardly ever resist one. If the price is right, the satisfaction of getting this and putting it in someone's hands who can really appreciate it is really great, and the money is enough to where I find it worthwhile. In this case, the cost was right. It was $2. You'll see this upside down because of how I have the camera positioned. Long story for another time. And the condition is great. There are no chips or cracks. A little bit of crazing on the inside, just a tiny bit. And the overall value, you know, again, it's very subjective. Someone who appreciates it as much as I do, but I'm sure there are quite a few people who would, considering all of the above. So that is the reason why I got this one. And then the last piece that I got today is actually a piece of clothing. It's an all-over sequin blazer. Very fun and very well made. Actually, the sequins, the way they are intentionally placed to create this texture. So I really loved it. I have to research this more. I haven't been able to find out exactly something like this online. I wasn't there too long, but this is a Chico's piece and it's made in China. Chico's are hit or miss, right? It all depends very much on the piece. I'm hoping to do well with this one. There's a chance it may be vintage, but I'm not 100% sure. It could go back to the 2000s based on the style, but I'll have to research this more. The price was okay. It was $15 with 30% off, so I paid $10 for this. So considering that I'm thinking I could probably sell this for $40, it was okay. The condition is really appears to be really good, at least based on what I have been able to see up to this point. That's another story for another time. We all know all of those pieces that we bring home thinking that we hit the jackpot, and then we find the biggest flaw of all that for some reason we could not even notice while we're in the store. But fingers crossed, this one looks really good. So identification, cost, condition, desirability, I think they're all there for this piece, and I think the value is good enough where it justifies everything else I have to put in it. It should photograph pretty easily as well. So that is what I got today. Not a big haul, obviously, but I'm pretty happy with it. next time, hopefully it's going to be a lot better. I have days that are amazing. Like, oh, I was mentioning earlier in the store that I did find a GLASSYBABY. Last time I was in shopping, and I did, and I'm probably going to include this in the video here to see. Alright guys, I had to move away, but this is what this says. It says Glassy Baby. Can you believe it? I can't. $3. It sold the same day, I think, that I listed it. And I had it listed for a really reasonable price because I saw one that sold for $100, and I sold mine on an offer for like $57 or something like that. So I was super happy because I think I only paid a couple bucks for it. So my first GLASSYBABY. So let me show you some of the things I bought not too long ago that I thought you would find interesting. Honestly, I kind of picked them at random from my inventory. I unwrapped a few of them already. I usually keep them wrapped in paper in my garage. This is how this one would have been wrapped, and with a bright sticker on it. I already have the papers here, so this is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of glass. It is amazing, beautiful workmanship. That's very accurate. And a luscious red inside, and it's triple cased, red, white, and green. And the outside has this cabbage leaf texture and smooth pontil, but it's not a clear pontil. I don't even know how it could be with all these layers of glass, but I don't think this is a Murano piece. I think it's a contemporary piece. I tried identifying it further, and I could only find one that's somewhat similar, meaning that it's the same triple case, same colors, but a different pattern. And that was on Etsy, and they were calling this 1970s glass, and they were asking quite a bit of money for it. But I do not believe this is this old. It could even be made in China. Parentheses. Irrespective of your feelings about products that are made in China, you have to remember that China has a proven track record going back hundreds of years in porcelain, ceramic, and glass. So the techniques that came from China have been revolutionary at times, or during those times, hundreds of years ago, and have been imported into Japan, Europe, you name it. So there is a lot of craftsmanship and experience still in that place when it comes to this type of artifact. So just because it's made in China doesn't mean it's a bad piece. If it has a lot going for it like this piece does, don't be afraid to get it for yourself or for resale. So again, identification, that's as far as I can push it. It has the condition that is absolutely immaculate of this piece that goes for it as well. The price was also right. I believe I paid $9 for it. And the desirability is there because it's such an unusual piece. And also there's scarcity. There's not a whole lot. I've not seen, like I said, hardly any of these online. Definitely a very impactful piece. So I got it. That's the reason why. That's the reasons why. And another piece that I already unwrapped from my inventory. Again, this is, I kept this wrapped in this paper and with a sticker on it. Is this a gorgeous piece of Heisey Lariat glass. This is a fan vase because of the shape. It's called a fan vase, and the Lariat pattern is very easy to identify because of all these curlicues on the sides of the pieces. Some of these pieces may or may not have had the silver overlay. Also, you will find them in just clear glass, for example. This one happens to have the silver overlay, and I polished this. And let me turn the light off so you can see it better. It turned out so beautiful. This was black originally, and look at it now. It is just such a stunning piece of glass. So again, identification, that was easy. The cost, I paid a few dollars for this. It'll be in the video here. The condition is excellent. Very, very little signs of wear. There's a little bit of silver loss here, and you know, the glass, maybe I can polish it a bit better, but you will not see that during normal use. And also the desirability, there's not much of this out there, and whatever I found sold for quite a bit of money, so I was very happy to bring this home. So I keep turning the ring light on and off. I don't know which one is better yet because this is my first video, so I'll have to figure it out. Okay, now another piece that I wanted to share with you is this beautiful, beautiful flower pot or planter. It's quite large, as you can see. The weight is just right. And if you look closely, you can see there is some ribbing that shows you that this was thrown and then glazed. And this is all hand painted. Every single inch of it, it is hand painted. Let me turn this on again. Maybe you can see better from this distance. So identification wise, I couldn't tell who made it right or exactly when, but I am fairly sure, actually pretty sure that this is a vintage piece going probably back to the 70s. And the fact that it's all hand painted, hand thrown, the fact that its condition is absolutely great. There is some normal wear on the bottom. Oopsie. I have to remember how to deal with this light setup here. So there is some wear on the bottom, but nothing that's not expected. And the price was right on this one. I forgot how much I paid. It'll be here. Scarcity wise or desirability wise, again, there's always going to be a market for Asian themed artifacts and objects in general, hard goods. It is beautiful, appealing aesthetically, so I got it. It's absolutely beautiful. Jumping all over the spectrum, here is a piece of Pyrex. And as we all know, Pyrex comes with an easy identifiable mark on the bottom, right? The only thing you have to do is to identify the pattern. In this case, it's just a tulip pattern, and this particular piece goes back to the 60s, and it is in great condition, and I paid very little for it. We all know the desirability of some Pyrex patterns, and this one, given its age and condition, I've seen that it's quite a desirable one, so I am quite sure that this will sell without problems. So nonetheless, that is the reason why I got it. Another piece that I thought would be interesting to share with you is gorgeous wooden piece. So let me see if I can, there we go. So what this is actually a set of votive candle holders. And here's one, see the candle? And you can replace that with anything. And these are all carved wood, just beautiful. And they can be positioned in all kinds of in all kinds of ways. However, your creativity is the limit. So beautifully carved with like a sun pattern. And the biggest one too, same thing. Now, there was this tag on the bottom. So I wasn't able to really identify exactly who made these, but they look pretty vintage to me. So they don't look like something that's brand new. And I just loved their shape and the way that they're nested and the way that one could, you know, arrange them in a room. There's all kinds of possibilities with this. And the way the wood is finished is just really very mid-century looking to me. And that is the reason that why I got this to begin with, was the appeal. I think these are very appealing aesthetically, and again very mid-century looking, which is one of the trends that are still going strong today. The cost was right, the condition was great, and desirability for mid-century items, for wood carved items, you know, for anything as highly decorative as this, is still high. And it's just something that can go with a whole lot of decors, and very versatile. So that's why I bought these. All right, so this is something else. I'm gonna put it down because it's extremely heavy crystal. Here's an ice bucket that is absolutely stunning. This weighs like 10 pounds. It's very heavy crystal, and it's carved in a Scandinavian style, suggestive of icicles, melting glass, melting ice. Here is the lid. This is what it looks like. And it looks like pieces, shards of ice and blocks of ice, like an iceberg. That is the handle. The lid itself is very heavy, and it has the opening here for, you know, the ice tongs. This could also be used, by the way, as a punch bowl with a ladle in here. I don't see why not. But this was made as a nice ice bucket. So that is the back of it. And again, this is just so beautiful. I'm going to again include the links to these objects so you can see them better in the pictures. I guess in some cases they look better in the pictures, in other cases they look better in real life. But yeah, this one comes with a set of glasses on the rocks that are stackable. So I just didn't want to unwrap every single one of them, but see, that's how they would be. And they would stack, and this mimics the exact design at a smaller scale of the ice bucket. And the only drawback is that I only have 5 glasses, but hey, this is such a unique piece. Honestly, I was not able to identify it, and you have no idea how much time I spent trying to find something like it, and I was not able to. Clearly, it's a very Scandinavian suggestive design. That being said, there are some companies, some German companies, for example, that would make something similar to this. Let's think of also Mikasa. You may find something similar in the Mikasa glassware, although not anything like this that I found so far. But I believe that this is this is Scandinavian, and I'm thinking maybe Swedish. It's very Costa Bora-ish, although I could not, again, identify this properly. It's just very, very unique, but that alone did not detract me whatsoever, because again, it is just a super beautiful, amazing piece of glass, pieces of glass, I should say. And the price was right for these. The condition is great. There are no chips, cracks, scratches. Honestly, great condition. The only thing is, again, there I have 5 glasses instead of 6, but then even the 6 is a very subjective number. Go to Europe and you will find out very quickly that what I'm saying is true. And the desirability is there 100% for anything, again, that's Scandinavian, good Scandinavian glass. Not to mention something as unique as this. And yeah, so I decided to buy this. Something that I got at the same time with the Heisey Lariat piece. When I got the GLASSYBABY the other day, is also another sterling covered piece. This time it's a cake stand, and this also is vintage, but it doesn't probably go as far back as the Heisey piece. It's just gorgeous. And again, this was black when I got it, and it polished beautifully. It's just a stunning platter with minimal, there's hardly anything, any utensil marks. There's a couple of lines you will see at a certain angle, but who holds a cake plate at an angle, right? Not to mention that it's probably gonna be covered, but you can't see it, honestly, unless, again, it's in a certain angle with the light, and that's how I photographed it as well. So again, this one is, I just identified as a vintage silver overlay cake platter. That's as far as I could push it, but the price was right for it, the cost was right for it, desirability. There's always someone who would like a beautiful cake platter, and also something that's vintage and it's not being produced any longer. And the condition is great as well, so that is the reason why I ended up buying it. And the last piece that I have here is this really lovely vintage honey pot. Look how cute this thing is. With a wooden lid. I found something online like this that sold for close to $50. It's a big glass jar. That's as far as I would identify it. It's definitely vintage. I think it goes back to the 80s, if not farther back. And the cost was really good for this one. The condition is great. There's no chips, scratches. Pretty much almost as if never used, I would say. And there are not too many out there. I've not seen but maybe a couple of them out there like this. So I decided that it was all worthwhile to pick it up, and I know that I will make some nice profit out of the sale of this beautiful, beautiful jar. So this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I thank you in advance for being patient with me and with all the imperfections of my first video that I'm sure I'm not going to be able to eliminate right away, but I want you to know that I'm going to strive to do better. But until then, I will say thank you and have a marvelous sunshiny day.